Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair agale, ni hao, tuna shumme, washmale, ohio, gozaimus, guten morgen, hola, boyor, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wasal, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, balli kare aaya. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very superb, the very well-spoken Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing better after receiving these compliments early in the morning.
Yep.
Thank you for them again.
That's
How are
great.
you feeling?
Well, I think I'm feeling great as well. I'm not at my 100%. This is
Because
something,
of
yeah.
the panic attack?
Yeah, because of that attack. But I feel as if I'll be fine in a couple of days. I just really need
Okay.
to get rid of that thought process. Because every now and then when I wake up, I have this paranoia where okay, my heartbeat's fine. So all of that. So, but
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, I think that change of company and spending more time with family and friends has actually helped me yesterday.
That's brilliant,
But I'm
right?
getting better.
Yeah, that's brilliant because, of course, I mean, the type of work that you've been doing lately, that is every day and almost every hour as well.
Yeah.
You did need a break. Ladies
Thank
and
you.
gentlemen, I think for all of those people who are now finally going back to school, well, best of luck for next week, first of all. And for all the mothers who were, it's a funny thing actually, because a lot of my friends happen to be young mothers as well,
Yeah.
with toddlers, and they had sort of an issue with the kids being at home all the time. Don't take me wrong. What I mean to say is, because there used to be routine, right?
Yeah.
There was a few hours for school, then there were a few hours for play, a few for sleep, whatnot. And because of course, the pandemic, the routine was upside down, not for just the students or mothers, I think for every single person. So now that things are getting back on track, well, I hope everything goes fine.
Yeah.
And we don't hit that second wave that a lot of people are predicting.
I mean,
Well,
some
fingers
I mean.
crossed.
But not just that. I think Shiza, that schools, the kids are actually not going, from Monday onwards. Rather, they're
Tuesday.
going from 30th September.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the date as well.
Oh.
I'm not really sure about it, but where my kids are going, I think they actually have to be at the school at 30th on
All
30th
right,
of September.
all right.
So yeah, you probably need to check it up with your school as well. But other than that, I think that Shiza has actually got a good news for each and every Pakistani who wants to go to the Middle East or probably go for the pilgrimage via sea.
Right, absolutely. So Shazad, I feel like this is the best time to be a Pakistani. This is the best time to actually, work for Pakistan and
Yeah.
do something for the betterment of the country. Especially, I feel like under the auspices of the incumbent government, because
Yes.
they just aspire to be better. They just aspire to do more without any, I want to say, expectation of a reward, without any expectation of an acknowledgement or encouragement. They just want to do better for the country. So, well, sorry, while it's getting, I know the statement is getting longer.
Yeah.
Well, just yesterday, Ali Zaidi, the Minister for Maritime Affairs, tweeted that finally the federal cabinet has approved that Pakistanis will now be able to travel through, passenger ships or ferries. For now, to the Middle Eastern countries,
Yeah.
for either, I would say, pilgrimage. All the Hujjaj and Zaireen will now
Yeah.
be able to travel through ships as well. But they plan to expand it to every single part of the world in the future. So fingers crossed. Well, the future is looking nice for Pakistan.
Wow, it looks wonderful as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I might have been on ferries, but I really want to be on a cruise.
Okay.
And probably go somewhere, 5 days, 6 days. But yeah, please make sure if you have seasickness, don't even dare to step on one. And it's because of the fact that nobody else wants to be with somebody who's actually throwing up all the way. So please don't do that. And please make sure
Imagine.
whether you get seasickness or not as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, where Shiza actually said that there are people, the incumbent government is actually making sure that they're going to bring in newer things as well, newer avenues for people to explore as well.
Right.
But not just that, I think we really need to go back to when actually COVID came to Pakistan as well and how difficult the situation was. The economic trees were cut off and, the economic activities were cut off. Not
Yeah.
just that, people weren't going to schools, people weren't going to offices. And it was a difficult time. And
Hospitals
I think,
were full, man. I
yes,
mean, imagine everything
hospitals
was on a
were
halt.
full, and yeah, we kind of had a blockade within the hospitals as well because there were no more beds, and then new quarantine centers were made,
Yeah.
and then a lot of SOPs were made sure that they were followed as well. But for the government, it was getting difficult to do it by themselves. So Prime Minister Imran Khan, obviously, he's been celebrated and he's been kind of given that accreditation that the kind of decision making he's done during the COVID-19 times is something which we really need to applaud. But then, ladies and gentlemen, obviously it's not just the decision making. I think it's the people working under the entire network as well. So here comes, I think today we really need to talk about or give credit to the Tiger Force. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was an initiative by the incumbent government, but the people who took part or people who volunteered really needs to be celebrated. They are our real heroes. Not just that, they were making sure that all the law enforcement agencies were working, and they were working alongside them. They were making sure that they are going to play their part in climate change.
Right.
They were making sure that they are going to, kind of record all the data and then be in conversations with people who were getting affected with COVID-19. Not just that, I think, ladies and gentlemen, for kids, to be out there, I think that their family might have had reservations, but they wanted to do
Exactly.
something for the country. And eventually, alhamdulillah, here we see that Pakistan, I think, is amongst those countries who were the first few ones to actually come out of the crisis. And the
Absolutely.
credit goes to Tiger Force as well.
Of course it does, along with, of course, the main authorities too. But here's the thing, Shahzad, the world is still wondering how Pakistan did come out of it. To be honest, we are too. But it is because of the policies, like you rightly mentioned. One thing I do want to add over here, like you said, when we talk about the Tiger Force, it's all about volunteerism. It really inspires me. You know, when Imran Khan probably years ago really believed that the youth of Pakistan is going to be my force, this is what he really meant, because now that youth is, well, adults, and they really want to do something for the country. Imagine doing a task where you're risking your life every single day, going into the field. For what incentive? For nothing at all. Just the mere thought that, well, my country is going to get out of it stronger. I think we really have to applaud that spirit over here.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we are actually going to be introducing the members of the Tiger Force who have volunteered, who have made sure that they're going to work day in, day out for the betterment of the country and bring the country out of the crisis in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the Tiger, he is one and only Mr. Usman Shahzad. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Shizan Shahzad.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you, to have such decorated heroes over here, in the studios with us, wearing the Tiger Force jacket. I think I'm just envious right now that we could have played a better role, me and Shiza over here, but we tried, ladies and gentlemen. Every day in the morning we were here, we were making sure that we were telling people to follow all the SOPs. But not just that, alongside Mr. Usman, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, over here in Pakistan, I don't think there is any difference left in between a girl or a boy. So when we talk about Tiger Force, it consists and comprises of all of those people who wanted to give back to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, another volunteer member of the Tiger Force. She is Sahar Khan Sharwani. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having us here.
Wa alaikum
It's our
assalam.
pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you alongside the Tigress, ladies and gentlemen. We've actually been joined by another member of the Tiger Force. He is Muhammad Noman. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Absolutely perfect. Wonderful. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, another member of the Tiger Force, Miss Humaira Batul. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
calling
much for
me.
joining us. It's wonderful to have you, ladies and gentlemen, and we're very proud of you in the first place. I think the credit goes to you and to your entire team, and for all of those officers and the members of the offices who were actually in collaboration with you too as well.
Right. So,
Yeah,
may I
you are. Yeah, okay, go ahead. You go
Sorry
ahead.
to cut you
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
But here's the thing. I want to take something further that you mentioned just
Go
a
ahead.
while ago, Shahzad, that Tiger Force comprises of everyone, regardless of the gender. Also, regardless of whatever political affiliation they want to be,
Yes,
you know,
apolitical
associated
force.
with. Right, absolutely, which is brilliant because, again, like I already mentioned, this is for the betterment of the country. So I'm going to begin with you being the head of the team, of course. Creating the Tiger Force was a swift decision, and it happened like really quickly. I mean, of course, we were hit by a pandemic, unannounced, unexpected,
Yeah.
but then this came out. How did it happen, and how long did it take to be in action?
We all know that Imran Khan always support voluntarism, so he had an idea that we should support Pakistani youth to come. They want to work for their nation, but they
Right.
don't have the platform. So Prime Minister Imran Khan made Tiger Force is a non-political force. Like, I want to clear this very
Yes.
message. Like,
I
whenever
think
we
we
talk
already
about
did.
Tiger Force, they think it's a PTI force, and they're so I'm not political person. They are all volunteers. They are not political. They are like students. So we are not. We are just. We have. And like, we want to work for Pakistan.
Yeah.
So we are not any political association. We don't have any political association.
Got it.
So we work for Pakistan, whatever we like gets to do and wherever we want to do.
Yeah.
Like, we get opportunity to do so.
I think that's wonderful that you've actually cleared it out. But Shiza actually said it, just before you as well. But what I'm going to ask you is a very different question, and this is something which I've experienced within my own university's days when I was going to my university. So our university, because that was the time when it was floods and earthquakes, you know,
Oh,
back in
right.
2009, after 2005, ladies and gentlemen, there was another wave as well.
Yes.
And our teachers actually said that, you know, if you're going to go participate in some kind of volunteer work, you won't have to do your thesis. So that's the kind of relaxation we got from our university.
Wow.
Did you get any such offers from your teachers or professors?
I mean, I
that since
wish.
you guys are doing such a wonderful job, okay, we'll do this for you.
Well, not really, not as such,
Okay.
but I would like them to listen to this and maybe think of something
Exactly.
for her. Like Humera, she is a third year
Second year
student.
Yeah.
Yes.
I graduated a while back,
Yeah.
but for students it's definitely difficult. It's also difficult to convince parents, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So if such initiatives are taken by teachers where they give you a leeway that, you know, if you are part of this, you don't
Yeah.
have to do your thesis,
Yeah.
which is a
Right.
huge part,
Exactly.
or any project that you have
I
to
think
do
then
at the end of
every
But you know
kid
what,
would be
maybe
doing a
some
volunteer work.
relaxation in a thesis, like maybe some grace marks
Yeah.
or something, because, well,
Yeah.
having a thesis is good. But I think now I'm going to talk about where you said it was really hard to convince the parents, because when the force was established, it was, like I mentioned, in the earlier days when no one really knew what COVID-19 was or what the impacts were. I mean, we had no details, right? Every other day, WHO was even changing its statements. So
Yes.
how did you, like, convince your families?
Okay, so
yeah.
So I'll let them speak as well, but it's very difficult to convince parents, definitely.
Right.
However, once we applied, so like you mentioned, how did it all begin? So I think the team was on field within, I think, 3 weeks of
Okay.
time. So I mean, it was a very swift decision. It was very
Definitely.
swift, and all the volunteers who actually applied, I think there were more than a million applications that came within
Oh,
the
wow.
first few days of the applications were released. So I think it was the mere passion that all of these the youth has, and also these parents. I think it was difficult for them to convince the parents, but I think once they got on the field and they saw that the SOPs are being followed, which they were, and you're right that the WHO and the UN, they were all changing their statements as what you need to do. First there was like disinfectant sprays ke stands hone chahiye or
Right.
whatever, and then they changed that statement. But I think one thing that we maintained is masks pehne hain, keep the distance,
Sanitize.
and make sure when you go back to your houses, you keep your family safe, because that's very
Right.
important.
Absolutely.
We have parents, we have kids.
Exactly. Thank you very much for mentioning that, because, ladies and gentlemen, I think that I haven't really been in shower for these many periods as I was, because we were working in the studio, going back, taking a shower again, going out, coming back, take a shower again. Obviously, and it was so that we could protect our family members as well.
Yeah.
But very quickly, I'm going to move on to you, Noman, over here. So obviously, we want to know the process. What was the process? How did you get yourself enlisted within the Tiger Force? And then what were the responsibilities given to you? And who was the one giving you those responsibilities? And then how easy was it for you guys to kind of do whatever your task was?
Actually, it was very easy for me. Like, I am not at home, I am living in my flat.
Okay.
So there was no family pressure on me.
Yeah.
So I did contact with Mr. Usman, the head of Tiger Force, and I told him that I want to serve the community.
Okay.
So he called me on Deputy Commissioner office. We met Sir Hamza Shafqat and discussed
Great guy.
different things. For me, life is a continuous learning process.
Yeah.
And whenever you meet someone new, you learn something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a part of this platform, I thought there are two segments.
Yeah.
Like, there are illiterate people, there are literate people.
Yeah.
So you learn something new.
Exactly.
So that's keep me going through it.
So
That's
you
beautiful.
definitely are a very learned man now,
Yes.
because you've actually met so many people. So now what I'm going to do is that, you know, since you have been joined by 3 of your Tiger Force members, you need to tell us what have you learned from each and every one of them. Please go ahead. Starting from Usman. What have you learned from Usman?
From Usman, actually he is the head of Islamabad Tiger Force.
Yeah, we got
That's
that.
what I have learned. as well.
Yes. I'm telling you that he was not direct the head. He started as a volunteer from very little work.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
he used to do small work. Then he step by step. He did great work and was acknowledged by Deputy Commissioner, Additional Deputy Commissioner, Chief Commissioner, and then he was assigned the duty of Task Head Force.
That's
Wonderful.
nice.
Similarly, Miss Sahar, she's done many good jobs in managing the female portion. Like, many females, parents don't allow female to go outside, but she was allowed, and she encouraged many other female students to come outside and to serve the community.
Wow.
That's very nice.
And Miss Mera.
Sure, Miss Mera
She's with us as well.
Yes, yes. She has been doing the writing work for the Tiger Force.
Wow.
And it has she has done amazing job.
Amazing, wonderful.
Right,
So, Mera, what do you have to say, being a part of the Tiger Force?
It's very good to be a part of Tiger Force. I have learned a lot from my team members.
Yeah.
They are very dedicated, very sincere towards their work, and I'm very motivated to do volunteer work in my near future.
Wow.
Well, we really hope you do that, and I'm pretty sure you did a great job for the team as well. But now there were so many duties you guys sort of had, and I want to take on to them one by one. So beginning with, let's talk about the quarantine centers, Usman. So since you eventually became the head, I'm pretty sure you had an overlook of everything what was going on. So how was it decided what parts were going to be the quarantine centers? How many were there altogether? And if you could roughly provide us with some stats, specifically about the federal capital, how many people were admitted, I want to say, in the quarantine centers and taken care of?
First of all, I would like to tell you that people might don't know, but we had 14,000 volunteers registered only in Islamabad.
Oh, wow.
Just the capital city.
We really didn't know that.
Yeah, we have 14,000 volunteers, so we really recruit some of them for the work. And yes, for the quarantine center, we have 3 and 4 quarantine centers in Islamabad, like Park China Friendship Center, Hajj Camp, and Park Hotel.
Yeah.
You know. But we did like all the time, the assistant commissioners and the deputy commissioner of Islamabad always like support us and guide us how to do work with district health officer, Dr. Zaim. They provide us every kit, and we usually go to check the availability of their food and their health. The recent data, we work with the district health officer to check the really data. You might have received our call as well that you got the COVID, so stay back home.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you met with those people in that area in that time, so we contact them as well and let them quarantine. We have many other activities in COVID, like we have to guide people, implementation of SOPs, ration distribution during that time. We had smart lockdowns. In smart lockdown, we ensured that people don't leave their homes, and the people who are quarantined in home, we make sure that they don't leave their homes as well.
Sorry, Usman, I'm cutting you here, but this is what I actually want to talk about. So yes, I do understand you guys are performing your duties on time and very well. But an honest answer though, was it hard to convince people to actually make them realize that first of all, COVID is real, and second of all, you have to isolate yourself if you contract the virus?
Yes, but as I feel lucky that I belong to Islamabad, it's not so hard to convince people. But when you go to other areas like villages, people, it's not real.
No one believes it.
No one believes this. But in Islamabad, people do really believe it. Yes, that's really happening. That was not so hard in Islamabad so far as Islamabad. But yes, people help us, and media especially helped us in telling people that it's really going on.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not just that, so once obviously they volunteered for the Tiger Force, what they did was that they actually were making sure that they're going to play their role in making sure that the climate change, kind of have a positive impact. 3.5 million saplings were actually seeded in one day. Yes, that's one thing. They were working with the law enforcement agencies. They were working at the Panagahe as well, where people were supposed to stay for free and get some food. They were making sure that all the SOPs were being followed. So pretty much, I think half of the job which the people from the offices were supposed to do, you guys were doing it. And you guys need to take immense pride in it, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But now, who was the one who would actually tell you that, okay, today, this is one thing which we are doing, or probably you really need to be in groups, and this is where you're going to go as well, because we saw the strictest lockdown in Barakau as well, and in different sectors over here in Islamabad, and then people were kind of, they were getting a little agitated as well, that we really need to go outside. So how were they managing? How did you help them get the ration as well? You guys were distributing the ration bags and the relief, whatever kind of work was being done. Who was administering it? And do you think that the process was very smooth, or there were still some things which really need to be dealt with? Please go ahead.
All right. So I think our team has always been in coordination with the DC office, and they are the ones who actually provide us with the guidance.
I like it when you say that we have always been coordinating, and then you look at Usman and then you're like, okay, this is the right thing to say. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted his acknowledgement. And I think they have provided us with a lot of guidance, and So the team initially started off as solely a COVID-19 response team.
Okay.
Right.
And over time, we have diversified our areas. So the plantation was not technically related to COVID-19,
Yeah.
but it was a climate change. So I think this is like a volunteering thing. So as we move forward, we are diversifying and seeing in any way we can support the authorities.
Yeah.
So like you said, most of the work was supposed to be done by the authorities. So I just have to clarify that the authorities are doing the work.
Wow.
We are
Yes.
just providing them the support.
All right.
And they are providing us the support in supporting them.
Yeah.
So I think it goes side by side.
But Sarah,
Public-private partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Which
how
needed
that's
to
how
be
dreams come true, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely, which needed to be done. But very quickly, Sahar, before I move on to Numan, when you talk about distributing ration bags to everyone as well, a lot of people were doing that individually, of course. I mean, on their personal account too. So you, since you said you were sort of associated with the government as well, you wanted to make sure that whatever aid you're providing reaches to the right people and to the right, I want to say medium. How did you make sure that happened?
All right, so we coordinated with different organizations that were on the field and working as well. And we collected a data and distributed different teams to provide rations to different families, ensuring that there isn't any duplication of ration distribution, and families which are most deserving were prioritized, and so on. On a monthly basis, we provided the ration packs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so after proper research, you guys were doing that?
Yes,
that's
after the data.
I think that's wonderful. But there's this one stigma which I had to go through, and since I contracted the COVID-19 virus myself, so and I got the call from DHO office, and somebody kept on telling me that they are actually going to come and get you and put you in quarantine center as well.
No.
So I was like, no, they are not going to do that because the quarantine centers are full now. So they do not have any space. I'll actually have to do it at my home. But when I recovered, when I started going outside my house and meeting people and doing my shows, I saw that people were actually, kind of restricting themselves to come closer to me. So, this is a question for you. In our life, we have loved ones as well. There are people who are very near and dear to us, and then there are people we spend nights talking to over the phone. Did you ever come across a situation where somebody who loved you or you loved them told you that there's no need for you to come to my place, or I'm not going to come to see you because you are working with the Tiger Force and you're exposed to the virus every single day? Did you actually come? Did you guys? I mean, it's a question for each and every one of you. Did you guys come across a situation of such sort?
Fortunately, I didn't come over this situation. I was living in my flat in H13, and there was my family member is not here. So I was not.
I think
so your friends didn't
the
even,
question right.
Your friends didn't even ask you to stop meeting
all
them?
friends were back to home. I was living alone.
Okay. All right. So now.
So you had to go through it all by yourself as well.
Yes.
So let me ask the same question from Usman Sayer, and then we'll move on to Humaira. Did that happen to you?
Actually not.
No. Okay.
I'm heading volunteers, so all the volunteers were like quite motivated to fight with COVID, and they were exposed with me as well. So my family always supported me in it. So we took measures as well, but they didn't.
In it to kill it. Wonderful. Sarah, what about you?
Okay, they have been lucky in that sense, I guess.
Right.
So I mean, I think the concern is valid. So I do have friends who have children, so they are concerned about them. And I think even personally, I try to maintain like if I am meeting someone, I would want to make sure that I'm at home for at least a week prior to meeting them, especially
Even
if I
now?
know. Even now,
It's a bit relaxed, right?
I mean, it's a bit relaxed, but even now, week to 4 days, and like now we are taking all the precautions.
Yes.
So even people have started to become less careful, but I feel like I think we should still remain as careful as possible.
We'll talk about this.
What
Humaira,
about you, Humaira?
Fortunately, I also didn't go through such a situation, or I don't have such experience. At my home, I'm eldest one in my siblings, and all of them are well aware of this. Like I'm very responsible, and I usually following SOPs very strictly. So no, I don't think so.
No?
But since you mentioned you're the eldest one at home, your siblings must be so inspired by you, right? They were probably learning from you whatever you were doing for the community.
They are always.
So curious to that. Now my question is to Numan.
Yes.
You guys when we talk about Panaga or shelter homes, ladies and gentlemen, they are serving millions of people who are homeless, and they often, I mean, used to, of course, in the previous governments as well, used to live on roads, probably off the footpath. It's really, really heartbreaking to talk about it. But now, alhamdulillah, eventually we're expanding the number of shelter homes. So when you talk about the pandemic hitting, it was hitting everyone equally. How did you guys make sure SOPs were followed at shelter homes? And were there what is it, like hand sanitizers and all the necessities, were they provided to those people?
Exactly. Basically, there are 5 shelter homes in Islamabad.
Okay.
And all shelter homes are being managed and organized by the volunteers of Tiger Force.
Wow. Okay, brilliant.
And basically, the Deputy Commissioner Office has provided all the facilities to the shelter homes, like hand sanitizer, masks.
Oh, nice.
Thermal scanning.
Okay.
So the volunteer members are scanning the body temperature of each member, each person who is entering the shelter home.
Okay.
So it is also being maintained that there is a proper social distance between the individuals, and in this way the whole situation is being maintained.
Wow.
Wow, that's great, and I think that today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, where we really, in fact, every single day we need to appreciate Tiger Force, and this is how you're going to go down in history as well. Whenever kids will know that, you know, how Pakistan came out of COVID-19, I think Tiger Force and members of Tiger Force will be mentioned. But very quickly, for all of those people who are out there and who have actually started to take it very lightly that COVID is gone, you know, what is the reality behind second wave? How many cases are we witnessing in these times as well? We just want each and every one of you to please talk to our viewers as well and make sure that they are safe. And God forbid, if we do not follow all the SOPs, are we going to witness something more horrible than what we witnessed?
That's really really true. We had to take care of it. Like you just saw, our neighboring country India had 90,000 cases in one day.
Yeah.
So, but because of economy, they are not portraying it on media, and they are not, because they don't have capacity to lock down it. Yeah. The smart lockdown was the best initiative of Prime Minister Imran Khan.
But speaking of their economy, what a GDP crash? I mean, okay, so, please carry on.
So still, like, we really have to take care of it. I urge people, I request people to keep maintain distance, don't forget the COVID, and we had a really hard time. So like, it's really very difficult for us to cope it up if we get it again, if we get it a second wave.
Yes.
So I request people to maintain the distance and maintain the SOPs, do follow SOPs, and for yourself, for your family, for your nation. You know, we have so much other challenges for Pakistan as well.
Exactly.
We are not as grown as other developed countries. And as far as you asked, like, how we work with, like, I told you that it's non-political force.
Yeah.
So from Prime Minister to, like, they give direction to the Deputy Commissioner Islamabad. It's like office of all not political offices, like office, commissioned office. So they give us all the support, and we are working under the Deputy Commissioner Islamabad, not any political agents.
Okay.
So we all volunteers. I would like to ask people of Islamabad and even people of Pakistan. It's like Usman Dar has a vision of, like, it's non-political force, and he gives the authority to the local governments of deputy commissioners of all the cities all over the Pakistan, that they are holding them, they are having the data, they are giving the directions, they are owning it. Like, the government is owning it, like not any political forces on it. Even if it's not PTI government, it's any other government, still we have to work for our Pakistan.
Yes, of course.
We will still do work for Pakistan. Like, we are doing volunteer work for humanity. If we are working in Panagas, we are helping old people who don't have homes, we are helping them. Like, we have a plantation drive, so we are helping nature. We are trying to help our own children's, our like next generation.
Right.
So, and we are proud of you, and we are proud of each and every one of you who's actually contributed towards community service as well. And over here in this world, you might only get a certificate of appreciation, but over there, I think we are going to get bigger palaces as well. But thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation with the members of the Tiger Force. Please continue to strive for excellence. We are proud of you, and we cannot thank Allah more than enough because of the fact that you guys had this will to give back to the society.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing the kind of work that you already did. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the pandemic, a lockdown of more than 4 months, everyone stuck at home, No vacation, no outings, no nothing. So I think like a lot of people like you who were really sticking to their gym routines as well, they were relaxed too. So now that everything's back on track, people need to get back in shape. But how is what we will talk about after this very short break with an expert over here in the studio. Stay tuned to find out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV1. You're watching One This Morning alongside the very fantastic, the very energetic Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. And Shiza, yeah, I think that there are days when you really need to be full of energy if the other one's not. And you've done a wonderful job today, and I really need to appreciate you for that.
You do it every day, so it's all right.
It's perfectly all right. But ladies and gentlemen, I think half of the time we are what we eat, and that's what we're going to talk about in this segment. What are we doing?
All right, yeah, we're talking about, of course, you mentioned what we eat, but especially in terms of how we're coming out of such a long vacation and we need to get back on track, eat healthy stuff and whatnot. So I'm going to begin with a question with you, Shahzad.
Okay.
Did you, first of all, take off from your gym routine throughout the pandemic?
No.
Okay.
I, in fact, ordered a few dumbbells and I set up a smaller gym at my place.
Yeah.
And I made sure that every day I'm going to look forward to working out.
So you were still eating healthy and eating in portions, the right amount of whatever you needed?
No.
Okay.
So I was eating whatever I wanted to eat, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to burn
burning it
all
off
the
as
extra
well. Oh,
calories.
that's
You know,
nice.
that's the kind of routine I follow because I just eat. I am a foodie, ladies and gentlemen, myself. You know, from tandooris to Chinese to Italian to whatever comes right in front of me, any time of the day, I'm going to eat it and then I'm going to burn it in the gym.
Well, that's brilliant because, you know, a lot of people have been watching you on TV and a lot of people message us asking about your transformation, which is inspirational, of course, to look at. So I think we need to talk about this with the expert over here who happens to be a nutritionist and a dietitian over here in the studio. We'll ask her about how to go about it in a, you know, healthy weight loss and a healthy diet plan. And maybe you can add your expertise to it as
all right,
well.
we'll do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Dr. Javeri Mahmood as well. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam, and very thank you so much for having me at this show. I'm really excited to doing
It's wonderful. We're
After
as
long time.
excited as you are. You know, I just cannot be back on my seat as well. I just keep on bouncing. But very quickly, since we're left with a very small period of time, I think the first and the foremost important thing which people are looking for these days is to lose weight, and it's because of the fact that they've been in lockdown. Everybody's got a belly. It's not it's not going back in. You know, everybody's got these issues as well. So, what would you recommend for people who've gained weight, people who are elderly, people who are young, and kids?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I wanted to tell you one thing, that healthy nations and healthy generations are based on the healthy foods. And nowadays, adulteration is everywhere, you know, trend towards of food deals in different colleges, you know, in societies everywhere. I'm not saying there is a peer pressure or this is another thing that made many people obese, and you know, obesity is not only a disease, it's globally present, and you know, the risk factors of having obesity is like heart attacks, angina pectoris, and you can say you will be in diabetes, and lately there is a many more consequences are there. So every second person in Pakistan, because you know I have a very, you know, so many health issues, and they have physical and mental, you can say malnutrition sort of things are here too.
Stresses,
so there are a lot of things that relates to our health, nutrition and wellness. You can say we can make it better with the community programs, with awareness sessions at TV channels, and most
So let's do this. We have this opportunity today. Let's make people aware. What do they need to eat? Come on, quite quickly.
Let's start with the basics.
Let me tell you one thing. First of all, add more greens in your diet, add more and more fruits in your diet, add more and more grains and fiber in your diet. Whenever you take fiber, many of the toxins remove from your body, because normally people always forget the essential nutrients, essential fats, essential carbohydrates, and most important, balanced diet. So one should be balanced, one should be good, and you know, whenever health is good, we can work properly, we can active properly, and our basic, you can say, basic content of the health starts with the water. You know, keep yourself hydrated. Every time I said that, you know, giving the nutrition tips, control your portion size, because you know, one person is obese is a very simple trick. Control your portion size. If you were taking 2 chapatis, you can make it 1. If you take a 1 chapati, you can make it half. And laterally you can do the things and manage. You can manage according to your body.
Exactly.
Right, that's brilliant. But you know, Javeria,
the body does not manage according to us. That's the problem.
We try, and I think we all need to try. But here's the thing. So for all the people who are trying weight loss, there are different methods that you're trying out. I feel like most of the time without expert opinions. So I see a lot of people going after the keto diet. A lot of them are having intermittent fasts and whatnot, crash diets, whatnot. So first of all, how important is it to actually seek advice from someone who knows what to do, or should you just start on your own? And second, which method do you think is the most effective?
You can say, and according to the age, weight, height and level of physical activity. First of all, whenever you go with the expert nutritionist or expert consultant, he never go with the, you know, dietary history, clinical findings, physical findings. I don't believe on one thing, you know, people came like this and they have so many other problems too in their, you know, lifestyle, and they have so many imbalanced things in their lifestyle. Even, you know, they don't have proper sleep patterns, they don't have a they have poor dietary lifestyles, physical inactivity. So there is a lot of things that cause the obesity, not only obesity but other disease too. But whether you are discussing that people start diets, you know, while seeing the wrong, and you know, there is always so many false things that presently on different social mediums, and people see and, you know, implement in their diet lifestyle. So I wanted to tell these people that this thing to these people, that it has worst consequences on your health, because you are not taking the expert exam. You do whatever you want. You know, military diet is good, keto diet is good for the post-operative conditions, either for the pregnant woman, for the PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, keto diet is good, and other diets, you can say low alkaline, high alkaline diet, or you can say detox diet. There is a lot of diets, but first of all, know your body, assess your body. Assessment of nutritional status is important, like either you are vitamin C deficient or you are anemic, or either which sort of deficiency you are facing these days, because no one is perfect, and here in Pakistan no one is going to do the test and things, and they are like, oh, our color is so pale, so maybe we are in jaundice or something like this. So first of all, evaluate yourself, assess yourself, and then you can overcome your health issues.
Thank you very much for saying that. Finally, there is somebody who's actually talking about that we really need to assess the person in the first place as well, because every now and then you'll go to the doctor, get this test done, get this test done, get this test done. Once you go back, they'll actually find a new disease which you have discovered yourself recently. But that's not what I'm going to ask. Since we are left with very short time as well, we only have 3 to 4 minutes. What I'm going to ask you is, and make it simpler for our viewers is, so some say intermittent fasting, some say keto diet, some say something else, somebody says no carbs, somebody says no this, no that. Now, what is that one thing which everybody can actually adopt to? Let's talk about that. Obviously, everybody's got a different body type, but there might be a common grounder in between where we can have a healthy diet, stay fit, and be healthy.
First of all, we need to cut down and stop important, I'm going to tell important thing. Number one, commercialized foods. Packaged processed milk, packaged processed foods, juices. Our mothers are so commercialized these days because tiffin boxes are always, so much commercialized. Right. It's a real fact, and it's a very worst fact as well. So, if you wanted to lose weight, stop carbonated drinks, stop, you can say, alcohol abuse and this sort of things, because a lot of people are into that and they don't know the reason what's happening. So, first of all, you need to cut down these things. Then you can cut down the excessive fats, the animal fats, because whenever you take the animal fat, it deposits in your blood, in your body, and the things that you can take, and you can there is a lot of myths and realities. If you are taking ginger garlic water or lemon water in the morning, you can cut down your weight. This is very good. This can detox. Honey is good. That thing, that all the food ingredients that zaitoon and honey and all the things that in our Quranic Pak, they're very good for the health, and having very medicinal values in that. But first of all, assess your body and you can implement it, and take a lot of fiber, a lot of water, and you can say control your portions, and don't forget your meals, and don't forget your breakfast, because most of the workaholic people, they forget they skip the breakfast, and after that their whole routine, they get puzzled, their body get puzzled that what should we do in the whole day, you can say it's like that.
All right, that's absolutely true. So towards the end, again, very quickly, I'm sorry, I'm going to steal away the last question. So Javeria, when we talk about, now again, this is a very basic question, but I need like a proper answer from actually both of you.
Sure.
So some people would tell you, for losing weight, you have to adopt to a certain type of diet, and some people would tell you have to really work out. So is it enough to either work out or either diet, or should it go hand in hand?
Yeah, it's like that 70% of diet and 30% workout, and many of the times 50% of your diet and 50% workout. Because physical inactive people are the most slowest people in the society, you can say. I believe on physical activity, I believe on good diets, because diet can give you the fuel, give you the energy, you the power, you can speak, your cognitive, your physical developments are the good with the diet. And whenever you give the hardest challenge with the workout, your muscle will gain, your body will be fit, and your lifestyle will be okay. It's
brilliant.
Like
what do you think about this?
I think I'm going to agree to what Dr. Saiba said over here, because diet and exercise, ladies and gentlemen, go hand in hand. If you're not going to have a good diet, you won't be able to exercise. And I think that it needs to be hand in hand. But I think what is really important for people to know is that not eating at all is not the solution over here, because I've tried that too as well. I used to be 106 kgs, came down to 87.
Wow.
And then that was the time when I was like, okay, I think I'm probably going to pass out.
Oh, no.
That's not the kind of life everybody would want to have, and that's not, where is the quality of life? At least enjoy what Allah has given you, eat all the fruits, eat all the greens, as Dr. Saiba has said as well. And make sure every now and then you can even have a paratha so that your mother's happy, so just do that. And if one day you feel or you realize that you've taken in a lot of calories, burn 100 or 200 more calories and you'll be good to go as well. So make sure, because this, ladies and gentlemen, exercising, I keep on saying it as well, is a lifestyle. Please make sure that you adopt to this lifestyle, and eventually everything's going to fall in line as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for putting that out. So I want to say perfectly as well.
And you've always made sure that you stay fit as well.
I try. I eat a lot of parathas though.
But
thank you so much for being here, Dr. Javeria. It was brilliant to be in conversation with you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to end up with the same note. I really hope you learned something from us like every other day we do. And here's the thing. You really have to, on an individual level, be careful of whether or not you want the virus to be back to Pakistan. please, please, please follow all the SOPs. Now, here's the thing. Just yesterday, I was applying hand sanitizer after the show.
Yeah.
And our researcher, he goes like, it's only you who's using sanitizer in the office anymore. No one else is following the SOPs. Point being,
Imagine
please.
he being the researcher saying that you're the only one using this, you know.
No, my team is, yes, definitely following some SOPs, but here's the thing, please be very careful. We don't want it to happen to Pakistan all over again.
Exactly.
And like the Tiger Force, I think I want all of you to be very courageous and help each other in hard times.
Please make sure to do so, ladies and gentlemen, and please make sure to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
on Twitter,
Well This Morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and GT.
It's PTV World, and then you look for Well This Morning.
Yeah, and the fabulous repeat is going to be at
5 past midnight tonight.
Till the next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Stay safe.